unseasoned chicken in book form. Hello and welcome, you beautiful bookish people. I'm so actually excited today for this video because I'm gonna be reading bad reviews, 1-star reviews of popular fantasy series. And I hope you understand, okay, first of all, disclaimer, this is a joke. I'm not trying to spread hate in any way. It's just so funny to me because first of all of the books that we're gonna mention today, I love. So I'm not like going and looking, this is not rage bait, okay? It's just, I think it's so funny when you see bad reviews that's like maybe one sentence long and they're just hilarious, and you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. But please nobody take this personally, and I will not tolerate hate of any kind in the comments, so don't even think about it. But let's get into it. I'm gonna try to cover multiple series today, and I think I'm just gonna start with, I don't want to say it's the big three, okay, because there's so many books on BookTok, but I'm gonna do acotar, Powerless, and Fourth Wing, and I think that's a good selection. If you want a part 2, let me know, because I was also thinking of doing maybe like the Hunger Games and Quicksilver. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I could do Throne of Glass and Crescent City as well. I just think these are so fun. I'm actually so excited. So I'm going to go on my Goodreads here and I'm going to look at acotar. Oh, also, I found Witch's Brew at Walmart today. I had to go to 3 stores. Let me tell you, this morning, I went to Target first because I was expecting Target of all places to have it. Usually Target's really on top of that kind of stuff. Nope, they didn't have it. I went through like seasonal aisles, the energy drink aisle. I went through like the end caps and all that. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Wasn't even on their app yet. And so then I went across the street to Kroger. I was like, that's a grocery store. They said they had it in stock. Nope, wasn't in stock. So I had to go across the street to Walmart, and trusty old Walmart had a stack of them. And this is my first time that I've ever tasted it. I've just like kind of got caught up in the hype, and I was like, I have to have it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not like the best flavor that I've ever tried. I think Strawberry Sunrise is my favorite, and I can't find it anywhere, and it's really frustrating. Anyways, here we are. I'm gonna go and find the 1-star section. Yo, I'm so excited. This one is lengthy, but I think it's so funny. It says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the acotar drinking game. How'd it work? Take a shot every time you read the words. A shiver went down my spine. My knees buckled. Oh my god. In a heartbeat later, I would never be able to paint it. That's actually so funny because there's so many jokes about Farah being like this terrible painter. Smirk, snarl, prowl, or purr. Oh my god, all of like the animal sounds. That is so funny. That's a solid start, guys. Here's the thing. I did not rate Throne of Glass. Nope, that's not what we're talking about. I didn't rate acotar 5 stars. I thought it was a 4-star read for me. And here's the thing. A lot of these reviews, I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from. And I don't necessarily disagree, but it's one of those things that I can like, you know, shove under the rug because I love the story so much. Add watery bowels on there. Literally every single SJM female character. I'm like, why are we peeing our pants all the time? And why are we pooping our pants all the time? I understand it's probably scary, but like, maybe I just haven't had enough scary things happen to me in life. I don't know. Oh, a classic. This is it. This is the stupidest book I've ever read. Literally, there's nothing else. That's it. That is totally it. That's honestly so funny though, because in the first book, I was thinking too, I'm like, okay, what's the hype about? Like, I enjoyed it and I had a fun time, but I was like, why is everybody saying this is like one of the best series ever? And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury. My favorite line of this book sums up my reading experience. My bowels turned watery. I couldn't help it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the watery bowels. My favorites are these one-liners. Literally, this person just goes, I actually feel personally betrayed by this book. That sounds like someone that was a victim of BookTok. Oh no, that was written in 2016. Literally a year after it came out. Oh wow, interesting. She's probably more of a fan of Throne of Glass if I had to guess. There's one that just says no. Somebody put the 1-star rating and then just said 1.5 stars. I'm curious to know what it went from 1 to 1.5. If you hated it, I feel like what's that 0.5 of a star? Yo, that's so long. I am not reading the whole thing. Never mind. I don't want to know what it's 0.5 stars. Somebody just goes, I get the hype. With a clapping emoji and a clown emoji, but a 1 star. We love a queen of sarcasm. Somebody said 3.5, but gave it a 1 star? I'm confused. Make it make sense. Yet another good one-liner. Somebody said, hating on this book is therapy, bro. Can I come to your therapy session and then we can like hash out what actually happened? Because I'm convinced, okay, I'm just convinced that if everybody gave it a fair chance and like kept their open mind open, kept an open mind, yeah, and didn't let any of the like BookTok hype or anything get to them, I think they would have had so much better of an experience, because I picked this up. This was like the first, okay, I've read other books before, but this was the first time that I picked up a book because I wanted to, because I like wanted to read for pleasure. And it was such an interesting experience because I was not a part of BookTok. I was not on that side of social media whatsoever. My sister and my best friend told me that it was a good book. So I was like, you know what? I'm incredibly burnt out. I have nothing else to do. I might as well pick up this book. And I had a good time. I mean, I read it in a span of 10 days, which looking back is so much longer than my normal speed. And this was like 400 pages. Like I should have gotten through it quicker. So I guess like in that sense, I didn't completely love it. Am I just convincing myself I didn't actually like this book? No. You know what? Let's move on to another book because maybe this is a bad idea. This next series is going to be very interesting because I'm not going to lie to you. It was not my favorite, really. And I really loved the first one, okay? I loved it. I had a great time. I think I rated it 4 to 4.5 stars, something like that. And I read it twice. I read it and then I immediately reread it. So like that tells me that it was a really good book. And then I read Powerful. That one destroyed me. And then I read Reckless and I wasn't a super huge fan of that one, but I honestly didn't mind it because it was just like more time to soak in with these characters. But I almost DNF'd Fearless. Did not like it. I ended up giving it like 1 or 2 stars. I think I maybe gave it 2 stars, which actually looking back on it, why didn't I give it 1 star? I was not a fan. So we're gonna go back through Powerless. And honestly, I'm scared for what's gonna come out of my mouth because I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling about it now. I don't remember that much. 1 star, I finished it. That's the nicest thing I can say about this book. Yeah, I mean, same here. The first one, should I just go to Fearless? No. This is actually so funny to me too because, okay, this is a more like lengthy review, but this person said The Hunger Games did it better, Red Queen even did it better. And then they go on the whole like the ripoff thing, which I'm not even gonna comment on that. I am not about to get into some BookTok drama, but I just think it's so funny that everybody picked this book up and was just immediately expecting it to be Hunger Games. And here's the thing, I do have a Hunger Games reading vlog that I literally read the whole series, including the 2 prequels. So go watch that if you haven't yet. But I talk about in that, it's not just like a dystopian book. It's not just like a fun time. There's political commentary. There's layer upon layer upon layer of details in that series that make it work. It's not just the trial aspect. And I think that's why I'm so burnt out of trials in books. I'm not a huge fan of trials in books because it's never done right. It's always just about the trials and that's the main plot point, but that never works because then you have nowhere to go at the next book. And it feels super different going from one book to the other, which I understand that like Hunger Games, the first book had obviously the Hunger Games, and the second book had another Hunger Games, but it was a different kind. And I think there it changed the look on that trial aspect and gave another level of plot of, oh, these victors are really angry. We're actually gonna try to get you out. And obviously they got her out. But then Mockingjay is completely different and the other 2 prequels are, I guess Sunrise on the Reaping was another Games, but still, in that sense, you have story upon story because it's been building for 75 years. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, especially with like Silver Elite as well. That was pitched as like an adult Katniss. Absolutely not. Honestly, I don't want to hear it when people compare anything to the Hunger Games because it just never is gonna live up to it. And this review, it's just so funny because I haven't read Red Queen. I had it and then I just like never picked it up and lost interest, so I sold it on my Pango books. And obviously no hate to this person, like this is why it's so fun because reading is so subjective. No, it says she mentioned the word dagger 101 times. I mean, if I had a dagger strapped to my thigh and I was running around the kingdom like Peyton was, I would tell you a million times. I got a dagger, I got a dagger, I got a dagger, hey, 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 hey. We got a dollar, we got a dollar, we got a dollar, hey, 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 hey. This is the best review I think I have ever seen. Somebody's just, this is all that happened. Unseasoned chicken in book 4. I like going through 1-star reviews. That is so funny. Oh my God, that's so funny. I love when people like can make those connections in their brain and like when you read that and it shouldn't make sense, but it does. I love this one. Just a simple, was this book good? No. Made me more confident in my ability to get published. I mean, whatever motivation you need, queen. Write that book, write that dang book, girl. That's actually I think about all the time. Just one of those like hyperfixation thoughts. I'm like, what if I did write a book? Like, what would I do? I have absolutely no writing skills though, so please don't expect me to actually follow through on that. I am not trained. Literally reading and writing was my least, English language arts, anything, was my least favorite subject in school. Maybe next to history, which kind of is hilarious to me because I love Hamilton and I love, my brain just emptied out. But my point was I absolutely hated anything with writing, anything with like doing papers and stuff. I liked the math, I liked science and chemistry and like all that stuff because it was formulaic. But part of me sometimes reading books, I'm like, it gives me a boost because I'm like, it's not, sometimes even the book is not even bad. And I'm like, wait, I could probably do that. Like I think pattern recognition wise, I could probably come up with something. This one is great. 1.5 stars. Again with the 0.5. Where's that 0.5 going? It says, I wanted a pita. Instead, I got a Gale. Bruh, tell me how an ordinary girl falls in love with a capital boy. Actually, Suzanne Collins, that would be a very interesting plot for another book. I mean, I guess we kind of got that with Coriolanus and Lucy Gray, but I don't think Lucy Gray was ever in love with him. I think it was one of those like they were both using each other. I don't know. That's actually so intriguing. If you are still here, round of applause for you because there is nothing, really nothing going on in my head today. I'm literally just reading other people's comments because this is so funny. I'm doing the hard work for you so you don't have to go find the funny ones. Powerless? More like plotless. Is that even a word? Is plotless a word? Hold on. Let me Google. Oh, it is a word. I thought it was not a word. This is actually so interesting. Somebody said dumb, cheap, and boring Hunger Games meets Throne of Glass knockoff. Where are you getting Throne of Glass? I'm sorry, I don't take any criticism on Throne of Glass. I know that's not criticism, Throne of Glass. It's criticizing Powerless, which sucks. I'm actually, what? I mean, maybe because of the tournament? Yo, the King's Championship? It's time for a reread of Throne of Glass because I'm totally blanking on what they called it. Classic, double it and give it to the next person. Somebody said it was the Hunger Games fan fiction. She said, this book was favored by many but lacked originality for me. It's essentially the Hunger Games fan fiction. The training, the interviews, the trials, it's all too familiar. That's actually so fun. I bet I can go on AO3 and find Hunger Games fan fiction. Ooh, I need somebody to write Phoenix Game. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want to read Phoenix Games, but I do. I will, but I won't. But I want to, but I don't want to. The emotional damage would be way too much. Maybe, nope, not their love story. Nope, Finnick and Annie, no, I can't read that. How is it that I know I'm signing up for emotional damage every time I pick up a Suzanne Collins book and I just submit willingly? What does that say about me, guys? Suzanne Collins wouldn't do this to me. Good thing it's not Suzanne Collins. Oh my God. Can you imagine though if your favorite books were revealed to be like under a pen name and were written by your least favorite author? Like, I don't think I really have a least favorite author, although I did read something by Ava Reed and I did not vibe with it whatsoever. If I found out that Throne of Glass was written by Ava Reed, I would feel like my whole entire life is a lie. Now, this next book, I'm sure I just flashed on camera to you. Fourth Wing. I'm a little scared for this one because I did rate this 5 stars. I'm absolutely obsessed. And I know there's a lot of people that you either love it or you hate it and it's right up your alley or it's not. And I am scared to read these, but it's nice to see like on books you love, see like the 1-star and 2-star bars like really, really low. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. Also, BookTok hypes up books for a reason, guys. I don't know why some people think it's cool to be the odd one out and like purposely try to hate these books because everybody loves them. Be like not the Antichrist. Not what I meant to say. But like, why do you make that your personality? I take it back. This is my favorite 1-star rating. Somebody said, Zayden wears skinny jeans. Don't do my man Zayden like that. That's okay, but why is it? Am I agreeing with this? I feel betrayed by my own mind. Is that even possible? Okay, this one's confusing. It might just be my autism, but somebody said Zayden could spit on me and I would ask him to do it again. 1 star. I feel like some of the book girlies might find that hot. Did that just come out of my mouth? Am I just completely forgetting a detail? Because somebody else said I should have DNF'd this when I found out he wears skinny jeans. Do I need to reread? Oh my god. Actually, I think I'm gonna pause like my reread until the 4th book is like almost here, because I thought about rereading it now because I really wanted to soak in Onyx Storm and like take my time with it, because not saying that I didn't take my time with it, I think also I just wanted to finish it so quickly because I was, you know, I was making content, I wanted to like get stuff out, and I finished it in 3 days, but I don't think I fully grasped the book. And maybe that was the case, but like when I first read Fourth Wing, I read it once, I rated it, and then I immediately reread it again. I went through a phase when I first started reading that if I liked a book, I just reread it. I started with ACOTAR, I finished the whole series, and then I immediately reread the whole series, and then I did the same thing with Powerless, I did the same thing with Fourth Wing, and I think there might have been something else. I can't remember what it was, but I guess it was Throne of Glass and Crescent City. No, that's not true, because I got Throne of Glass the Christmas like a month or 2 after I read ACOTAR, because I found out about it, and then I wanted to read all of Throne of Glass and Crescent City before House of Flame and Shadow released, and I ended up doing it, which is actually kind of crazy because I read Assassin's Blade over my birthday, which is December 26th, if any of you were wondering, and I finished that maybe like over New Year's, I think, and then I read the rest of the series before, what was it, the 24th or the 20th? No, I think it was the 29th, July 28th, 29th, something like that. I literally finished House of Sky and Breath 5 hours before midnight. First of all, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. That was a feat. But maybe I'm realizing I just need to reread them. But like, I'm also scared that I'm gonna forget all the information because there was so much information in Onyx Storm. It was crazy. The next one says, there aren't enough soldiers at the riding school, but they're letting people die on the mats and be threatened to be killed. That's actually such a good point. If you need dragon riders so badly, why are you so okay with them just like dying in class? I'm talking about you, Jack Barlow. Yeah, I was silently cheering when the oranges came out on the mat, which I think is so funny. But also now I'm thinking way too hard about these books. If you want to deep dive into these books and question everything, definitely go read these. Somebody said this might have been tolerable if it were 200 pages shorter, which, okay, I'm actually gonna pause right there and say there are a couple fantasy books that I'm like, why did we need these 100 pages? So I'm not all for just like writing fluff to write fluff unless you have very fleshed out characters. But then he continues and says, as it stands, it's overly written corn. There's no conflict, little exposition. Oh, I thought that said explosion. Nope. Little exposition that matters and completely nonsensical world building, then it ends. Well, actually, I have some good news for you. It's an incomplete series. So if you wanted to see closer towards the end, you could read Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. But also, what do you mean there's no conflict? What did, spoiler, skip to, I don't know where I'm gonna put it on the screen. Skip to this part if you don't want a major spoiler for Fourth Wing. If there was no conflict, what the hell did Liam die for then? Just a thought. It's literally a war college and there was a battle. That's not conflict? Ahsoka could take a guy named Zayden in a fight. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of agree. My sister and I joke around all the time that like fantasy names are just so funny. And obviously, I think a lot of authors do that because if you're reading a book about, I don't know, Brian, you're not gonna be as invested. I don't wanna read about a Brian. I'll read about a Zayden. That's an interesting name. I don't know anybody named Zayden. I think that's also part of the reason too. There's a character in City of Gods and Monsters that has a name of one of my family members, and it was so weird. It was so weird, and I think it's a good thing that a lot of fantasy writers, they give random names because I did not like hearing his name a lot. It kind of like tainted my view of the character too, which I think is so fascinating. I can't help but sympathize with the poor dragon stuck in the story. Actually, I sympathize with them too, especially Andarna. Like, what do you mean I'm not allowed to fly? What do you mean I'm not allowed to leave the veil? Go, chase your dreams. Find your dreams? What's the quote?
Go, live your dream.
I will.
Your dream stinks.
I mean, if you really think about it, like, why do the dragons partner with the humans? Okay, now my theory brain is gonna turn on, but I have to tell you, like, these are all powerful creatures. They clearly have some level of government on their own because the whole series is called the Empyrean, which is the Dragon Order. So there's got to be more with it. But what do they get from humans? What do they need from humans that allow them to bond? Because obviously, if you haven't read Onyx Storm, skip to this certain part. I will wait. But with all of the Irids showing up and finding Indarna and being so shocked and disgusted that they bonded with humans, I need to know more. I really wish Indarna could have lived with them for at least some amount of time, a little bit longer of a time, which I hate that I'm saying that because it absolutely broke my heart when she flew away for a little while. And I love Violet for being like, you know what, like I want her happy, and if that's not with me, it's not with me. But I need more information. I think she came back at a time that was very convenient for a time not to give information because obviously there was all this stuff going on. I just think that's such a good point. Pat on the back for me. Another one that shouldn't make sense, but it does. Somebody said this book is the equivalent of the cow print tops from Shein. Wait, I actually have to look that up and show you. Okay, maybe it doesn't make sense. What do you think? Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Brother, ugh.
Brother, ugh.
What happens when I scroll all the way to the bottom of the 1 stars and I reach the end? Is that like a sign for me to just like, put the phone down? It is this phone, Mom was right. This last one, literally at the bottom, says, it's not for me, I tried. I hope I'm not the only one. Girl, if you only knew. I think I'm gonna stop there. I think this was fun. I was kind of bored today and I was like, you know what? I feel like reading 1-star review. Reviews. And I had to share with you because they're just so funny. Again, go to find your favorite books and back up though, those aren't my favorite books. Maybe I should do my favorite books. Actually, no, I'm scared to do that because I feel like my feelings would so hurt. I'm a very sensitive human being. I survived this one though. But anyways, thank you for watching. That's all that I have for you today. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video, comment 1 star. I don't think I need to explain that. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you next time.